Hello, this is Castle of Castle Does, and I got some more Subnautica going on. Hell yeah. I'm smoothing out areas, getting a little bit of dig down on that weird little chunk of like lava land going on over there. Uh, I'm not sure exactly what's going to be done with that area, so I'm leaving it pretty simple for now, but I'm kind of going through and making these sort of nice like rolling hills, going through, rolling those hills. Yo, doing a lot of yo lately. Uh, I felt, inclined to put a little bit. Just maybe we get some lava. Oh God, I'm knowing again. But that's been pretty much it. I mean, this is all grass. Cause that's grass. That's how grass sounds. Uh, I don't know. I have to turn the grass off while I'm working with grass, cause grass is like a huge hindrance on memory on this engine and tool set. So like it like crashes if I have the grass turned on while I'm working with the grass. We end up like addressing it a little bit later in the week while I was working on this. We end up getting it to a point where I'm able to actually turn the grass on and see it. And I think this area right here is fucking awesome. Like I like it a lot. It's sort of expansive and just rolling hills of red grass. And there I use our submarine. We have like if you get further into the game, you get like a cool fucking submarine. And I'm using the submarine for scale, so whenever I take pictures, people can see, oh, the size of this area. That submarine is big. Like you can go around and walk around inside of it, and like go into different rooms, and the damn thing like shows damage and sinks and fills up with water. So there's all kinds of craziness going on with that thing. It's called a Cyclops. A Cyclops. So I put that in there, and sometimes I'll also use there's like a player model that exists just for the sole purpose of placing them into the world for size reference, which is a nice thing to have for this. That's definitely come in handy like many times, many times. And just getting screenshots and sometimes just placing them into the world so that I can see for myself. Oh shit, this is like a huge chunk of area. So I'm continuing over what I had worked on before, bringing the grass into this area. And then I end up getting, there's some more feedback that I end up getting where I want more, we want to try and get more flat around the outer edges and don't have these like plateauy cliffs. So eventually I have to go through and take these plateauy cliffs out of the way and just have smooth and have like the plateauy cliffs a little bit further out. So like it smooths out and then you see the hills kind of going in every direction and kind of having like I don't know, it's a good amount of grass just kind of like hanging out. Overall, the effect of this area is pretty freaking cool because there isn't really any other areas right now that feel quite like this. An area that's just meant to be expansive. Now I'm getting some loot in there, so there's still cool stuff, and there'll still be creatures and things of that nature. Like now I'm just sort of bouncing around, going to each of these areas. Actually, there's a lot of batches in this chunk, so now I'm just like correcting some of the problems, like the smoothing tool smoothing something that's 8 billion feet below the entire world. Yeah, thanks smoothing tool. Why interpolate between two different things that don't even have any possibility of being anything alike? Um, so here's a weird canyon, like a canyon spot right here that is actually fairly close to the beginning of the game, and I felt while I'm working on it, I'm thinking in the back of my head like, well, there should be something a little bit fancier that goes in this area. Something it needs to work a little bit better. I like I like that you can immediately see the sort of dunes from that area. So like you sort of look down and it's kind of a little bit more advanced. Like a beginning player might look down there and say, "Oh well, I can't really quite last that long under the water. Maybe I'll turn back," or something along those lines. Um, I don't know. It's just like the walls, those cliff faces. Something different needs to be done with them so that it kind of continues. For right now, I leave the cliff faces as being kind of I don't know. They're just sand at the moment, which is totally unacceptable and not something that would be any value at all. Like could probably just end up with a sort of rock face or something. We end up kind of going back and forth and deciding to do different things with it. Um, One of the other things too is just as I was working on this area, I had a material change that I can get in place where it matches the color of the red grass. So even when you're far away and the grass is faded out from the LED, you can still see red, and it makes it a lot less noticeable when it pops. It just generally also it helps the grass look more thick and a lot more better to look at. Okay, so at this point you see me I'm getting the plateaus around the outer edges out of smooth it out. I gotta stop with these damn nose. um and that's pretty much look at the way that is. I try like having a couple of rocks coming through, but I find that the better way to do this is actually to have like just small bits of rock coming out if you have any at all, and really just keep it simple for this large expanse. It really does work. Like just keep it simple. So while keeping it simple, I had to delete some things. There was like mushrooms sitting under the ground and stuff like that. I'm modifying the height map. I modified the height map in these areas so that they would effectively they were different from before, but I already had voxel work done in that spot. So some of the models that were placed there, I just ended up kind of removing some of the work. But a little bit too far. Darn. All right. Well, thank you, and see you again.